My video on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Classics figures 10 years ago was kind of the genesis of Bootleg Zones and MMC, and now it's time to revisit those figures in bootleg form. Wow, look at this crappy plastic baggie of turtles. This is some truly stunning stuff right here. Inside the big plastic baggie, the turtles come in smaller plastic baggies. It's baggies inside baggies. Baggy, baggy, baggy. Wow, this is going to be a high packaging score for sure. These classics bootlegs in their little plastic prisons came to me straight from China. And you can see in some cases the bags are already splitting apart. Lovely. Out of his bag, and Leo has a bit of a stinky plastic smell. Not as overwhelming as some I've experienced, but it's not great. Leonardo and Donatello's weapons got bent up just a little bit during their plastic bag ride. Michelangelo's nunchucks and Raph's sais fared a bit better, but even the sais are bent a little bit. I do like this kind of weird meditation-like pose that Mikey and Raph were stuck in the bags. Leo looks like he kind of tried to do it, but screwed it up. And Donatello just wants to kick them all! He's sick of this shit! So, it is nice that these guys came with the stands at all, but as you can see, their articulation is a little loose. It is really good they came with these stands though, because it takes a balancing act to get them to not fall over even on those. And you can see Leo's got some lovely black smudges on him. So yeah, you can tell there's a lot of care put into the craft here. The sash on the front of Donatello's belt is sticky, so that's gross. It's not everywhere on the entire belt, just on Donatello the front sash is gross to touch. Michelangelo's got a look on his face that seems like he just realized that his life is a lie. I don't even like pizza, dudes. I'm a sham. And Raphael has also seen better days. The eyes on the bootleg Raph I got actually aren't too bad, as a lot of these bootleg Raphs have this overly intense death glare thing going on. You can see a nice split in his plastron at the ab crunch articulation point, which is also very loose. Bootlegs in a half shell, garbage power. These stupid guys are sneaky, as they actually keep the 2012 Viacom stamping on their feet. Though looking at the feet here, this brings up one of the first pieces of missing articulation on the bootlegs, as the classics Turtles had toe articulation for some reason, and of course the bootleg does not. Kind of interestingly, the bootleg's feet have been marked L and R for left and right, and the bootlegs are missing the black stamp that's on the legit ones. One super quick way to tell if you're looking at legit classics figures versus bootlegs is the color of the wrapping on Donatello's bow. Real classics Donatello's bow has a white wrapping on it, where the bootlegs always seem to have a darker gray. If they ever have that weird beady eyes thing going on, that's usually the sign they're a bootleg as well. The orange on the bootleg nunchucks is also much darker on the bootlegs, and also the chain is slightly different. Bootleg Michelangelo is also barely holding on to his nunchucks because he can't close his hand. So yeah, the legit classics figures have that finger and thumb articulation going on, where it's just a solid piece on the bootleg. And if your turtles don't feel like they're completely wasted and can stand under their own power, they're more than likely legit ones. Bootleg Raph also fares a lot worse in a profile shot than the real one. Now to me, here is one of the weirdest articulation points they omitted from the bootlegs, the shoulder joint, because that one's kind of a basic one that you would expect, and they kept a lot of these weird articulation points on the classic figures, but didn't give you a shoulder joint? Like, yeah, we'll keep ab crunches, but no shoulder joints. Sure, guys. Some of the articulation points they actually kept is rather surprising, like the double jointed elbows and knees. But then, yeah, you don't need their shoulder to move up. I don't get it. There's also a swivel point on the upper thigh on legit classics figures, which is gone on the bootlegs. And for some reason, the belt initial always seems to be painted really faintly on the bootlegs versus the official ones. Also, legit ones probably shouldn't have giant black smudges on their face. The manhole cover stands are pretty darn close. It might be even hard to tell which one's the legit one here. It's this one. But where they just left the 2012 Viacom stamping on the actual figures, on the bootleg stands, for some reason, they went to the effort of removing them. The holder for Leo's swords is actually removable on a real Classics figure, where it's all molded right onto the rest of the belt on the bootleg. There's a notably different plastic quality feel on the legit figures versus the bootlegs as well. These Classics bootlegs aren't falling apart at least, but there is quite a noticeable difference with handling a real figure versus the bootleg. Really, every time while making this video, when I moved one of these guys, they would usually try to topple over because they're just so loose. I guess in contrast to that though, the head joints are overly tight. In fact, I can't get Donatello's head to move at all. He feels like he wants to break rather than have his head swivel. That's cool. Guess Donatello's got a fused neck.
I'll fall over everywhere, but not my stupid head.
Nope, that does not want to move. And you know what? Neither does Raphael's. Feels like that's just glued right onto the neck there. Isn't that right, Leonardo? Yep, I can nod. I've got head articulation. Not those other two, though. Just me and Mikey. Yup. I have a real brown noser. Except I stuck my nose in oil, I guess. Oh, yeah! My swords suck! I noticed that Raph's manhole cover stand is a bit lopsided as well. Oh, I tried to pose Leonardo again. Look what happened. And I had Drunkatello on his stand, but of course he toppled over.
Hey, her legs really suck. How low can we go? I'm so funny. Donatello.
Another slight color difference on a legit Classics figure versus the fake ones is the shell color, which is much darker on the real ones versus the fake ones. So yeah, these figures really suck. They look legit enough at first glance, but then when you notice some of the details are wrong or actually try to do anything with them, you realize that there's something not quite right here. These are kind of like looking at a slightly distorted reflection in the water. They look about right until you notice all the slightly off things about them. Coloring is close, but not exact, and a lot of the articulation is left, but there are some kind of strange choices there about what they've removed. If anything, these figures would have benefited, though, from more articulation points being removed because of the crappy construction with the overly loose joints. They can barely even stand on their stands. Also, beware, there are some other TMNT Classics bootleg figures that seemingly don't have any articulation points removed, and you have to go by the color difference. 3. A mold copy that adds nothing. In fact, it subtracts things. 0. Probably the weirdest thing that happens on these are when the turtles get the beady eyes, which either makes them look like they've made a huge mistake or they will end you. 1. While sometimes these figures appear in bootleg packaging of the TMNT Classics figures, mine came in the mind-blowing clear plastic bags. 0. If these figures could handle their own articulation, I wouldn't be as harsh on them, but they just really suck. They don't fall apart at least, though. 1. And the bootleg zones overall is 1. These stupid bootlegs are littering the market and have been for almost 10 years, and they're just trash.
Steffi, you will be ever so proud of me for this. I've taken my first big step into supervillaindom.
Why, you stupid piece of shit hero! Good job!
Steffi, you need to actually hear what I did.
Yeah, I guess. Hurry up.
I have created evil clones of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mostly made them, though, out of mutagen, beer, and a half-eaten pizza that I mixed in a toilet.
Well, Bad Hero, I'm actually very impressed. You stupid piece of shit. Good job.
Kill us, dudes!
Wow, these clothes are such a stupid idea. I wouldn't have even approved this one, and I once floated criminals away on an island.
Whoa, Turtles, look out! It's some evil doppelgangers of us! These grotesque clones must be the work of Krang and Shredder!
No, you're not gonna put this one on me. It was that stupid Bat Hero guy.
Bat Hero? What the shell does he have to do with us? I can't believe it, dudes. These guys look just like us. Well, I mean, if we were on like a 5-week bender and slept it off in an alley. That's just rude, dude. That makes me wanna slice you down. Oh no, Wrath! I shall avenge you!
How dare you guys take out my brother! Oh, I can't stand up.
That's it. You guys have gone too far this time. Wow, this might just be our worst episode ever.